Hello and welcome to Four Little Bears. The other day I made a bunch of note cards that were 3x3. The only problem was now I needed somewhere to put them. So I'm going to modify the tag box and put them in there. I've made a free SVG to go with this so you can pull it up into Cricut. All you need to do here is make sure to select all of the score lines and make sure that they are set to score. As you can see here, if you do not attach each piece to the score lines, it will not cut properly. So you'll just take each one of these groups here, of the main groups, and attach them so that the score lines are attached to the pieces that they go to. The pink ones don't need to be attached. Now when you hit Make It, it will cut and score all of your pieces for you. And of course, if you don't want to do that, you can just follow these measurements and cut it out yourself. And to do that, you're going to start with a piece that is 9 1/4 by 7 1/8. You'll score the base piece at 1 1/8 inch, then at 4 5/8 of an inch, at 4 3/4 of an inch. And you're adding this extra 1/8 of an inch in there just so that when you fold it all together, it's going to match up. Because you have to remember, you have to take into account the cardstock that is in the backs of the pocket. That's why there's that 1/8 of an inch there, just to cover all your bases and make sure that the pieces will line up when you finish your box. For the base left and right, you'll start with pieces that are 4 1/4 by 2 1/4. Score that down the middle. And then also up 3/4 of an inch from the bottom. And you'll see that they make an L shape. In opposite directions. For the pockets, you'll cut 4 that are 5 1/2 inches by 4 1/2 inches. Score those at 2 1/2 inches on either side, leaving a 1/2 inch portion in the center, and on the 4 1/2 inch side, score that at 1/2 inch either side. Now when you're cutting these, just make sure that the front half of these, or I should say the top half of this, as shown, is not angled, so that when you fold those over, it makes a square edge. Feel free to pause this video whenever you need to. The link for the free PDF will be down below. For the matting layers, you're going to need 2 that are 7/8 inch by 6 7/8, 4 that are 3 1/4 by 6 7/8, 4 that are 7/8 by 3 1/4, and 2 that are 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. Now when you're putting on the right and the left side, make sure that the tab is free floating, meaning that it's not on the side that you're gluing to the back. Just try to get it right on that corner without going over the score lines. If it does, like mine, just trim it up a little bit. It's going to be covered by a piece on the back anyway. So it's always better to put all of your matting layers on first before you start putting it all together. That way you can just make sure that you're putting everything on while it's flat. It's always easier to do it that way. Make sure in this one you use a nice heavyweight cardstock, or I should say medium weight. It doesn't have to be heavyweight. And especially with adding the matting layers on, it'll help to keep this strong. It's definitely better than the oversized envelope that I was previously storing these in. Now only the front two pockets need mats because the back two are going to get covered by the front two. Now when I sandwich these together, I want to make sure that my flat edge piece is on top. And I like to sandwich my tab in between the two flaps. That way there's nothing for the cards to catch on when you put them down inside the pocket. It goes longer flap, then the attachment tab for the bottom, and then the straight edge flap. And then just go ahead and get your scoring tool, a pencil, something down in there, a ruler. Make sure it gets nice and stuck. Once all those pockets are made, I like to glue the back two pieces together first, just so that I can get in there with my fingers and pinch them together. There's really no good way to get those two glued together. Just use your fingers and pinch the best you can. Same with the front two pieces. Just try to make sure they're lined up as best as you can get them. Then I'll add glue to the back pieces and add the front one on top. Again, just trying to make sure that I keep everything square. I'm going to put some extra glue right in that center and try to squeeze that as tight as I can so there's no hole there. And then you just glue the back and lay it onto your main piece, making sure that you don't go over any of the score lines for the flaps. Then I'll pull my side pieces up first and wrap them around the base, also putting glue on the sides where it's going to hit the pockets. And I'll just use my scoring tool to make sure that that is stuck as good as I can get it. And then the bottom. Wrap it around the bottom like that. If you have excess, that's probably fine. Otherwise, you can cut it off if you would like to. But it actually, on mine, butts right up where it should. And that's with that extra 1/8 of an inch allowance. If that's not in there, it won't butt up properly. Now if it doesn't close properly, just trim it a little bit. To close mine up, I just use a couple of Velcro dots. You could use magnets, just make sure to put them underneath the matting layers. You could also just tie on a little ribbon across it, make a little belly band, whatever works best for you. This is the first one I made. This one did not have that seam allowance. You can kind of see on the side, it just does not line up the way it should. And the bottom definitely does not line up. As you can see, it fits all of my 3x3 cards and envelopes. I'll just decorate it with some cute stickers. And then this project is in the books. And I have something now to put all of my little 3x3s in. Wyatt's checking these out now too. He approves. Guys, thank you for watching this far to the end. I hope you liked it. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, share if you would. Every little bit counts. Y'all, as always, have a great week. Stay safe and stay blessed.